Seabird Chapters 7, 8, and 9. Chapter 7, A Gallopin Fishpole. Remember, they just had the harpooners out, and they caught the big whale with them, and they've been going on a Nantucket sleigh ride, where the fish, the whale that they've caught, is pulling the boat along behind it. A Gallopin Fishpole. The whaling must puzzle you a heap, Seabird, said Ezra, but it's simple. The whale boat out there is really a galloping fishpole. The pole's line is no thicker than a thumb and floppy as an old shoelace, but it could hoist 2 wagon loads of hay and not bust. It's coiled neat in one thumb till it's full, then it loops over another to fill another tub. Next it runs aft for a turn or two around the loggerhead post, and then forward out a notch in the bow to the 2 harpoons. When they stuck whale runs, the whale line fairly smokes through the loggerhead post. Men slosh it with seawater so it won't catch fire with the friction. They snub it tighter until the boat gets underway without a jerk. When the whale stops to rest, they haul in the line and coil it again, like winding up a fish line on a reel, you see. Then the rod and the traveling fish line are all set for the next rush. This sort of thing can go on a day and a night sometimes, but when the beast is plumb tuckered, the boatmaster leans over the gunwale and fishes him off with a long lance. "Come in this way!" yelled someone. "They'll crash on that floating ice." "No, they won't," bawled a loud voice. "The man at the stern is not only smart harpooner, he's a mighty smart boat steerer, too." Well, they dashed through a few ice cakes, gave the boat steerer the chance of a lifetime to show off before the whole ship. He steered the craft in fancy swoops around jagged white islands. It danced through danger. Ezra laid aside his telescope. He looked down on upturned faces as the craft speeding past. The shipboard audience roared and waved, and the whalemen answered. The boat steerer even took one hand from the oar to wave it wildly. "Didn't I tell you he was so smart?" began the loud voice. Ezra heard a ripping crash. The whaleboat dissolved around one lonely ice cake. The end of the whale line whipped from the shattered bow and sank in the sea. Chapter 8. Fin out. So here are some of the lamps people used to use, and they needed whale oil to put in them to use as a more permanent candle. Here's some of the different whale tails. Whoa! "Man overboard!" yelled the crew, then fell silent as the captain cried, "Smart! Where are they?" "I'll smart 'em." A boat was lowered and sped towards the men clinging to oars and tubs. That water was cold. Ezra shivered. The Seabird tilted, touching his cap with a wingtip. "Yep, I know what you're saying. Skipper's mad and we're lucky not to be near him. But look, whales running blind like between the other 2 boats. Can they? Yep. Both boats struck the whale. He's sounding." The crew raced for the rigging again, and the captain with them. He said nothing when the 6 half-drowned men returned. Ezra watched the distant boats, waiting for the whale to come up. He was also watching the captain below. The old man climbed slowly, pausing now and then to gaze thoughtfully out to sea. After what seemed ages, he reached the masthead. "Whale's been down a half hour. Tired and sore or wounded. I say he'll breach surface in 20 minutes. What say you, boy?" "Well, sir," Emma started, "I'd have said 5. Disagree with me, eh? Want to bet? If your 5-minute wins, you'll have your supper some night with me in my cabin. Does the whale breach near 20 minutes, you'll stand extra watch for a week. Mind you don't have to take the bet." "I'll take it, sir," said Ezra, and the captain looked at his watch. The boy clung to his wobbling telescope. He felt like a fool for daring to wager with the old man. He sweated, he squirmed. Gears seemed to roll over him. He saw spots, or was it? "Whale against the sky! Breaching!" He shrieked. "Beg pardon, sir, he's coming up." "Aye," said the skipper. "His flukes are lashing the sea to foam with his fury, but not for long. He's played out. They'll lance him soon. Tiny men will kill a mighty whale, and he'll die on his side, fin out of water. Let's see, 6 minutes was. You win fair. A supper. Look alive below! Help tow in that whale!" Chapter 9. Cutting in. So there are all kinds of parts to these boats. And they have different jobs at different times. But they're going to clean out the oil out of the blubber in the whale to make whale oil. And we don't need whale oil anymore, so we don't need to kill whales for this. Eskimos can still hunt whales, but they use it for food. The Seabird soared at the masthead in a cloud of greasy black smoke. Nope, the ship's not on fire, caught Ezra beside her. That's the try works on the deck, heating 2 big iron kettles, boiling whale oil out of the blubber. Why? So that candles and whale oil lamps can light the world. Funny, isn't it? Bright lamp light fished up from the cold, dark depths of the ocean. Look, the dead whale floats alongside our ship. They're peeling him in one long strip, wide as a man, as tall and thick as his body. See how they slip a huge iron hook through a hole in the hide? Hear the windlass squealing as the tackle holds the hook. Over we go, tipped towards the whale by the strain of pulling. Now look straight down. Men are poking the white blubber loose with sharp iron-like oars. In a second, 10 more feet of hide will come away sudden. Hold tight, Seabird. Ezra clung to the mast while the Seabird circled madly. You'll get used to it, laughed the boy. This cutting is like unrolling a heavy carpet. The carcass flops over as the hide comes loose and rocks the ship. Greasy mess it is, too. Chopping that hide for the tripods. Big squares first, then fence post size, then long loaves of bread. Watch 'em cutting these down to the skin. This leaves thick bread slices hanging to a leathery bottom crust. The white blubber melts into whale oil in the kettles, but the skin pieces bob around like twisted strips of bacon rind. The fish that come out and toss the chunks into the fire. It makes hot flames and all this sooty smoke. Yep, Seabird, in the middle of an ocean, far from wood or coal, a whale's hide boils out its own oil. But they'll boil me if I don't get below and help. You stay up here and keep your coral eyes open. Clouds of squalling gulls circled the ship, puzzled by a smaller gull which clung to one of the masts. The silent Seabird soared aloft, while the others dove for scraps around the derelict whale. Seabird.